the whole. North Street, that side and yours.
Okay, it's now 7 o'clock.
Oh, fair, yeah.
Excuse me?
That's all.
We're gonna start the meeting now. It's now 7 o'clock and I'd like to welcome everyone to the Dover Development Review Board meeting for the night of August 28th. I will ask the board to introduce themselves.
Jack Connell.
Stephen Palermo.
Sarah Shippey, I'm chair.
Geraldine Millette.
There's a sign-in sheet here. Please make sure if you're in this room, you have signed in. That will be how it needs to be legible with a complete valid mailing address for us to keep you informed of the proceedings. And our application is in this pile.
What the hell?
We are here this evening to consider application 25 NS 021-01 by Anthony Barilla, 101 North Street, Eastover, for a land development permit to allow for future planned construction of a 4-bedroom residence within the Wildlife Overlay District. So each application, and there's only one tonight, is its own quasi judicial hearing. I will swear everyone in for the evening, and then the applicant will be invited to tell us up to the table to talk to us about the proposal. The board will then ask questions of the applicant, after which interested parties will have an opportunity to offer information or ask questions. The board will vote on whether or not to close the hearing this evening, and then we will move on. Our decision-making process happens during deliberative session, which is closed to the public. This is not a select board meeting where there is a public comment period. Caring about an application and following its progress is not enough to allow you to participate this evening. You need to qualify as an interested party, and this board is legally bound to grant you interested party status should you conform to the requirements. Most often, interested parties are people who own a property in the immediate neighborhood of the property under discussion. Those of you who receive notifications of this hearing are automatically considered interested parties. Anyone else would need to demonstrate to the board that the requirements have been met. The requirements are included in a handout. Please be prepared to clearly demonstrate how you meet the requirements when the time comes, if that is an issue. Please note that there is an appeal process for any decision we make here. Only an interested party or applicant may make an appeal of our decision to the environmental court. In order to make that appeal, participation in this hearing is required. You must offer some testimony, either in person or in writing, in order to retain your right to appeal later and be kept up to date on the proceedings. By next Tuesday, draft minutes of this meeting will be posted at the library, the Eastover Post Office, the town clerk's office, and here in this meeting room. We strongly recommend that all applicants and interested parties review the minutes to ensure that their testimony was accurately recorded for posterity. Any inconsistencies can be addressed under other business at a subsequent hearing until they have been approved, which is typically 2 to 4 weeks after the hearing. At this time, I would like anyone who is going to be offering testimony this evening to please stand and raise your right hand. Even if you think you might be offering testimony, if you speak in here, you're gonna have to raise your hand and swear. Okay, right hand up. When I finish, say I do. I hereby affirm that the evidence I give in the cause under consideration shall be the whole truth and nothing but the truth under the pains and penalties of perjury.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay. So, Tabby, has this hearing been properly warned and posted?
Yes, it has.
And I understand we have written permission. I thought I saw written permission for Anthony to represent the applicant.
Vice versa. Yes.
Vice versa? No. No, I have it here. I just have to find it. Why am I not? Oh, here it is. Okay, so Clara Crowley and Gail Bork are the owners, and they have given permission for Anthony Barilla to make the application.
That is correct.
That's what I'm asking.
And
Okay, and we have that in writing, so that's fine.
Yes.
Now wait a minute.
And then
So Kevin is going to represent Tony,
that's correct.
and who's Kevin?
I'm Kevin.
Okay, so we've got like a three chain here. Does that create an issue? If the actual owners are not the ones who gave permission for Kevin to
No, Not that I know of,
Okay.
because Kevin is his attorney.
Yes, yes, so he purchased the property from Clara and Gail
Okay.
just after this application was submitted. So when it was submitted, they were the current owners of the property. He purchased it while this was pending, so he's now the record owner.
Okay. Okay, little different. All right, so if you're going to present, why don't you come on up here so we can get you on the microphone? Okay, so why don't you go ahead and describe to us what you're here for this evening?
Okay, so Mr. Barilla lives out of state. He asked me to appear here on his behalf. I represented him starting in January of this year on the purchase of this property. Prior to the purchase, he underwent a lot of due diligence with regard to state permitting, a lot focused around the wildlife overlay zone, just to make sure that when he purchased it, he'd be able to eventually develop it. So I've been involved in close communication with him for about 9 months now. And I submitted the application on his behalf prior to closing, compiled all the materials. He did all the legwork in terms of hiring engineers and getting in touch with the wildlife folks up at the state and having them out to the property. And then I submitted the application. His main goal for the property is eventually to pass it on to his grandchildren and have them build a 4-bedroom home on it per the permit that he received prior to the closing. And that was included in the materials here. For the moment, he would just like to, he really wanted to put this in front of the DRB to put the wildlife map and letter on the record as to what the property is like at this time. And request that he be able to build out the driveway to the home site, do some clearing of the home site. He does not intend on building on it, as I said, and he knows that when he does want to actually construct on the property, he'll need to go through this process again. This is just to kind of clear the site for development for some point in the future.
Could you,
Okay,
I'm sorry, could you just repeat what you just said?
Uh,
That he
yep.
doesn't plan on building,
So he doesn't actually plan on constructing a home right now. He just has the wastewater plans for putting in a septic system that would support a 4-bedroom home at some point in the future. For the time being, he would just like to do a curb cut from the road. He has made the application to the town for that and heard back from somebody at the town. Travis, yes, that the site that was indicated on the wastewater permit for the driveway was clear, and he doesn't anticipate there being any issues with that, and the site's currently flagged out. So he wants to cut off the road, clear space for a driveway, just of a regular width, and that is depicted in the permitting materials. So clear that out and clear some space for the eventual home site that's located on the wastewater permit.
when is the septic going in?
He doesn't have any plans on putting it in anytime soon.
So the septic is likely gonna happen around the time the house goes in.
Most likely.
You can have somebody joining the meeting.
Oh, that's, Amy, could you unmute? Are you here as an abutter? I'm sorry, your mic's not picking you up very well. Could you get closer to it or raise the volume on it?
No intention of killing dog. I only want my past.
gone,
Yep, East Dover, not the greatest connections in the world. Okay. So right now we're doing a curb cut and is it a paved driveway, gravel driveway? Just,
Gravel driveway.
And I apologize, there's a lot of documents
Of
here. Do
course.
we have the dimensions on, like the width and the overall length of it?
I do not believe I've got the
It's,
overall length.
I feel it's,
Is it on there?
not given, but here's the actual application to the highway department.
Oh,
Okay, I hadn't seen that. He just sent over the something from Travis.
we haven't had one with this many pieces of paper in a little while.
When I said he did some due diligence before purchasing.
Yeah.
Okay. Looks like this.
Oh, I know what it looks like, I just can't find it.
Is this what you're looking for?
Nope. This is what I'm looking for. Okay. Approximately 1,900 feet.
That's the.
Oh, it's located
Section.
1,900 feet. That doesn't have dimensions. This is just the permit for the curb cut. Do we have any dimensions on the driveway anywhere?
Not that I know of. I can review, and if I'm able to find something, because I also have a lot of materials in my electronic file, I can send something to supplement these materials.
Okay, so what we'd be looking for, what I'd be looking for is the width and the overall length.
Okay.
Um. So any decision,
Get Amy in again.
okay. Hi, Amy. Can you unmute, please?
Oh, how's that?
Hi, who is this?
Amy Pritchard?
Hey, Amy, are you planning to, are you in a butter?
No, I'm not. I'm across the street from it.
Did you receive a notice that the hearing was happening?
It's a DRB meeting. Am I not allowed to participate?
No, you are. I'm just trying to determine if you have interested party status or not. You're welcome to stay. I just want to know if you have interested party status. So if you
My
receive
interested party status is that I own all the land across the street from this project. I want to see what's going on.
Okay. If you intend to ask any questions or participate, we need to determine whether you qualify for interested party status. If you don't, you're still more than welcome to stay in the meeting. I'm just trying to determine your status here.
Well, there you go. Whatever that is, that's what I am. I'm across the street. What do you want me to tell you, Sarah?
Did you receive a letter notifying you of this hearing?
No, I didn't.
Okay, all right. What is the legal address of your property?
74 North Street, 66 North Street.
Okay. And did you want the opportunity to ask questions or offer testimony tonight, or did you just
I'm
want to
just
listen?
gonna listen and see what's going on, Sarah.
Oh, okay, fine, great. Okay, so. Jack, do you have any questions?
Not at the moment,
Okay,
maybe later. I have questions, no.
Questions?
go for it.
All right, so I just want to be clear about what he wants us, if, you know, to approve.
Mhm.
He's asking for a proposed 4-bedroom house at some point in time, correct?
Correct.
Okay. I see that the wastewater system is right here. And then he's not asking for a septic system right now.
Correct.
And then he's asking for a driveway and land to be cleared for a 1,900-foot approximately driveway.
No, 1,900 feet is the
Nine-
distance
900.
it's the distance from the intersection.
Right.
That's where that number came from. I
Okay.
made that up.
All right, so we don't know how long the driveway is.
That's correct.
Okay, thank you. And then he wants to be able to cut trees in that area. When does he plan on doing that?
So the driveway, I know he plans on having cleared in October. assuming approval is granted by then.
Based on what Fish and Wildlife said in their letter to him?
I think it just comes down to scheduling with the.
Okay, because the Fish and Wildlife letter said that there's endangered bats there in that area. And that I guess Fish and Wildlife, once he starts that, Fish and Wildlife would have to okay it again, along with anything else that he wants to do,
Mhm.
correct?
Correct, yeah, and
Okay.
it was a little unclear in the letter about whether there's actually the northern long-eared bat there. To me, it looked more that. The bats range throughout Vermont, although I don't know if there were.
Yeah, because he specifically says, Tyler Brown, who was the wildlife specialist, specifically said that there wasn't anything in there, you know, the deer and the black bear, which travel through there. But the exception was the northern long-eared bat. And it said the time of restrictions may be put in place to avoid tree cutting
Mhm.
from April to October. Okay, but he also said that the databases are updated all the time.
Right,
So that another review of the site plans, application of wildlife mapping layers will be completed again once you get permission to start working.
okay,
So once the owner starts working, he has to get approval again from the wildlife people.
and would that approval trigger a new DRB meeting to review the findings, or?
No, what would happen is we would issue our decision, and let's go forward on the assumption that we say, yes, you can do this. We are one step in the process.
Mhm.
You would then have to get something from Fish and Wildlife, and depending on the length of the driveway, you may have to get an Act 250.
Right, because of the impervious surface.
Right, well, the length, my understanding is that they start putting their heads, you know, their noses in it once a driveway gets past a certain length.
Okay.
So, and I remember the number 850.
850 is, I believe, I would double check that to be sure,
Right.
but I believe 850 is the new designation that Act 250 came up with a couple of months ago.
Well, I think it was actually longer than that, because I remember it from my land, but.
Yeah, but they,
So, what I'm saying is, if we give you this permit, we are one link in the chain.
Okay.
Our permit does not give you any power over Fish and Wildlife or Act 250. It just means you've gotten that block in the stack taken care of.
Okay,
You're still gonna have to go to Fish and Wildlife, and, you know, as Jerry highlighted, they will wanna re-review this at the time that you want to do the construction and clearing. They will have that option. And so just because we've approved it based on these maps today,
Mhm.
they could change the map tomorrow. And then, I mean, I don't think they will, but they are within their rights to remap this at any time. So,
But when we approve it, one of the conditions that we probably will put in it, if we do approve it, is that when construction starts, Fish and Wildlife has to be notified
okay,
Right.
before it starts.
well, actually, there's like a boilerplate that goes at the bottom of every decision
Yeah.
that says that other permits may be required, and it's,
Mhm.
the burden's on you to figure out which ones and
Yeah.
take care of that. It's not on us to give you a laundry list of what you need to do,
okay.
okay?
I guess my confusion, Fish and Wildlife doesn't issue their own permit, so I was under the impression it would be like a condition of the permit that,
We have to have a letter from them that approves it.
okay.
It's not a
so-
permit per
Right.
se,
Okay,
but they have to provide you with a letter signing off on what you are proposing to do. And that letter has to come to the zoning office.
okay.
And this letter doesn't do that because you don't have a timeline. Their letter is going to be contingent on a timeline. Yeah, so it'll be on your shoulders to do the research,
Mhm.
right?
Yeah,
To find out whether Act 250 is triggered. what Fish and Wildlife wants from you. All of those things are gonna be your responsibility to find. We're just gonna say, any other permits you need or you have to get.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
So,
it
and you're-
also, it also talked in here about delineating before you started construction. Or started clearing any land or doing anything, you needed to delineate the wetlands.
Yes.
They should
and-
be delineated.
Yeah.
In other words, they need to be marked.
Yep, yep, for wetlands. I know that they had marked the vernal pool up there.
Yeah. And vernal pools and, well,
Because I believe the delineation had happened in May. I believe.
I believe it was
I
May
think Tabby was,
that they did the review of the wetland.
We sent May 15.
I'd like to take a ride and see.
You go without me, I'm not walking out there. You know, to get me a little hovercraft that I can float out there and
Yeah,
find
that's,
it.
I forgot about your ankles.
Oh. Yeah, Rebecca, who is
I'm not looking
the
at that and thinking,
Florida
nice,
and
level, flat ground.
wetlands ecologist. Sent out an email on May 15th. Stating that she had seen the test pits, the stakes. The project is sited appropriately 50 feet from the wetlands, and then as she goes through this. The driving utilities need to stay 50 feet from the wetlands or get a specific wetland permit, so. If the wetlands are delineated and the buffer zones are marked, then. There isn't an issue, provided that that 50-foot distance from those delineations. Are there, and anything that might be any closer to that will require a class 2 wetland permit. But
Which doesn't come from us,
no, that
Right.
comes from Rebecca, that comes from
right?
wetland program, and as her letter states. She visited the site, the wetland areas that are there,
Mm-hmm.
and stated that so far. The folks that are there and the testing is in compliance with. The distances required.
Okay. All right. Jack, anything else?
No questions.
Anything else?
No, I'm fine.
Okay. All right, so I would like to, request a brief recess so that the board can confer, and we're gonna go out in the hall. You guys can stay where you are.
I'll
So
put a
we're,
pause on the recording.
We're pausing at 7:23. So the recess is over at 7:25. All right, I will entertain a motion to continue
So moved.
in a second,
Second.
and all in favor?
Aye.
Okay, so what that means is
Sarah?
we are not certain, sorry, Jeanette?
I'm sorry, are you not gonna give the interested parties
I asked Amy
to
if
speak?
she was, and she indicated to me that she was not asking to offer testimony. If
No,
I'm
but what if-
incorrect, Amy, let me know.
What about the other folks?
Okay. I'm sorry, I
But-
apologize, you're right. Did
Yeah.
you
Okay.
wish to offer any testimony or
But no, I think.
just to listen?
sufficient. I just want to understand what was going on.
Okay. Are you guys sisters? You're kidding.
But met 50 years ago, first day of college, so. And. Anyway.
Anyway, so you're here just to listen, you're not actually here to ask
I
questions?
received the letter and I think we could just get grasp of what was going on.
Okay, great, thank you, thank you.
We're on the same ground space, but we want to see what's going on with it.
Okay.
We had questions on the wildlife corridor and stuff like
Okay.
that, so.
All right, so all of our interested parties are keeping their comments to themselves at this time. I will
Yes.
say, if we issue a decision that you disagree with and you have not offered any testimony, you forfeit your right to appeal. That's the only, and anyone who isn't here tonight and hasn't offered testimony will not be allowed to appeal. So it's not like somebody can come in the day after tomorrow and say, you weren't supposed to do that.
So you
They're
mean
not allowed.
by offering testimony, just.
You can say,
Question, anything.
you can ask a question, you can say, I think this is a great idea, we're really happy. You can say, we have some concerns, but you seem to have addressed them. Some way that you have participated in the hearing tonight.
Sarah, this
So-
is Amy.
Okay, hold on a second, Amy. Amy,
I
hold on a
just-
second.
Candy.
Candy, no, Amy's talking. Candy had her hand up, so I'm gonna let her talk first. Go
I mean,
ahead.
What grounds would we have to appeal?
If we issued a decision that you believed was reached incorrectly or inaccurately, or if you believe that we overlooked information that we shouldn't have overlooked, you can go to the environmental court and ask us to overturn our decision. Ask them to overturn our decision. Okay, that's how that would work.
Does
Aim-
that count as a?
No,
you
you
asked
asked for testimony.
Does that count as an
I-
offer testimony?
I haven't run this particular thing by the attorney, but I'm gonna say that seems fair to me. Okay, Amy, go ahead.
Sure. Thank you. My question would be, I think
Okay,
She didn't
Amy,
get
I'm
sworn
very,
in.
Amy, I'm
Okay.
very sorry. You were never
Can you
sworn
hear
in,
me?
so I can hear you, but you were never sworn in, so I need to swear you in.
Oh, go ahead.
Okay, so just say I do when I finish. I hereby affirm that the evidence I give in the cause under consideration shall be the whole truth and nothing but the truth under the pains and penalties of perjury.
I do.
Okay, great, thank you. We have protocol, sorry.
I get it. Okay,
Okay,
so John Sprung was with the wildlife guy, okay? And my question is, I think I heard you say that there was no wildlife except for the bat. And
No.
No,
No?
that's not.
No,
not that there was no endangered.
Okay, what about the wildlife that is there, like the bear corridor and the deer corridor? We have an enormous amount of them going through my property as well as the property across the street.
That's correct.
So, yes.
What about them?
They do not have, there's a letter here from Fish and Wildlife. Let's see here. Okay, I'm trying to get to the part that's relevant to what you're asking.
Okay, well, John was with him and they did see deer scat and they did see bear scat.
No, I understand that, but I'm trying to answer you from the perspective of the letter that Fish and Wildlife gave to us.
Okay,
So, it said, let's see, there is an abundance of game trails throughout the northern portion of the property. These trails are used by a variety of wildlife, including white-tailed deer, black bear, and moose. There are scattered mature red oaks that were dropping acorns, and I found evidence of wildlife, primarily deer and squirrels, feeding on the acorns at the time of my visit. Oak trees are a mass producing tree that many wildlife species will utilize. Deer scat was found throughout the portion of the property that I walked, providing more evidence that they are frequently on the property, likely due to the abundance of acorns at this time of year. Although not a mapped deer wintering area, there is a stand of eastern hemlock in the vicinity of thermal cover for deer that likely provides some cover for deer during the winter. Bear scat was found on the property, and there were scattered American beech, which is another important nut producing tree for wildlife. However, most of the beech was in relatively poor condition due to beech bark disease, but at least one tree had produced nuts in the last year or two based on the husks found on the ground. I did not find any bear scarred beech. And then it says here, there are no, let's see here.
You know.
Where
it's threatened.
the wastewater disposal system plan with the location of the proposed house does not currently intersect any known rare, threatened, or endangered species occurrences, any significant natural communities, or mapped deer wintering areas as of the date of this letter. There are also no occurrences on the property. The exception being the federally endangered northern long-eared bat, which can range throughout much of Vermont. Time of year restrictions may be put in place to avoid tree cutting during the bat's active season, which is April through October. However, as our databases are updated, new information is made available. Therefore, the Department of Fish and Wildlife will not be held to these comments if or when a permit application is submitted. Another review of the site plans, application, and wildlife mapping layers will be completed at that time. So it is.
what about the disturbance to these animals? This is their path. I live here.
When it comes to the wildlife overlay district, the DRB defers to Fish and Wildlife. So we require anyone that's in a sensitive wildlife overlay district has to obtain a letter from Fish and Wildlife approving the construction.
Okay,
As
I
the last
understand.
part of this, as the last part of this letter states, they will not be held to these comments until there is a permit application submitted and they have a chance to review again.
Okay, so is there a step in this process? Because I do own all the land across the street. And I know where those animals travel. I know where they go. They go through it, my property. I have an ice pond. They drink back there. So at what point do I get to have my land surveyed to make sure that the path these people might be disrupting isn't going to affect their lifestyle on the rest of the land that's there?
I don't believe that's ever a consideration.
Maybe it should be.
Well, it's not up to me, it's up to Fish and Wildlife.
Okay.
I mean, certainly you
So
can
what
have a
about the
conversation
town?
with Fish and
You're,
Wildlife.
you're permitting, you're the first step in this permit. So if you are the first step in this permit, then I'm saying that maybe there needs to be an additional step in this first step, because there's a road between me and this property, but it used to be my property and this property were attached. It was one property, okay? It got divided because the road was there. Now, I want to make sure that whatever happens across the street does not affect the enormous amount of wildlife we all have going through our land.
Amy, I will ask the town attorney for an opinion on that and get back to you.
Okay, I would appreciate that.
Gabby, go for it. Did you want to say something, Tabby?
In addition to the written letter that Fish and Wildlife provided, they did provide a map of where those animal trails are, where where the bear are, where the deer are going, the wintering areas, where the trees are. The deer wintering area is across the street, on your side of the street, actually. And I can send you the map that they drew of what the actual trails that they found and that they mapped out are. That will help clarify what you're discussing here. You can see where Fish and Wildlife actually mapped the trails. And their the bear and the deer corridors.
Just unmute herself.
Amy, you're muted again.
Oh, I'm sorry, am I supposed to respond to that? I know they've mapped their land, but I'm saying, I think since we all know they're on my land and they're traveling through that land, that any construction that does go on is going to disrupt these animals. And I want to make sure we do not cut them off from where they live.
All right, Amy, I will run that by the town attorney and get you an answer on what the procedure for that is. I'm not
That's
sure there
all
is
I'm
one, but I will
asking.
talk
I
to the
get it.
attorney.
Please, I do. I just want to make sure that as we
Okay,
all know.
Amy, I understand. I do understand what you're
Thank you.
saying.
Thank
I'm
you.
just telling you, it's not, we don't have the power
Right.
within the bylaw to demand a survey of property that is not the subject property.
No,
So
I know.
I'm going to
I would
talk
be
to
more
the
than
town
happy to do
attorney.
it.
Amy, please stop interrupting me. I am going to talk to the town attorney and I'm going to present the scenario to him and ask him what his recommendation is and what we are allowed to do under state statute and the town bylaw.
Okay.
Okay? All right. Now, so we voted to continue. What that means is the clock has not started running yet. Because there is a lot of information here, there's a lot of what feels like to me moving parts. What I would like to do is basically sit down and start to write the decision. That's usually how I find that I'm missing information. And then I can confer with the town attorney, find out what specific things I should be asking for in order to complete the application. And then we will come back in 2 weeks' time. We will reopen the hearing at that time. And we will, if there are specific documents or pieces of information I need from you, I will prepare a letter and have that sent to you by Jeanette so that you know what I will be looking for. You won't find out 2 weeks from now, what we want. Okay?
Okay.
And then that way, you can come in prepared.
Would it be helpful to contact Fish and Wildlife in the interim and just see
I don't
what
think
their
so,
availability is? Okay.
because they are gonna, if we go forward in the assumption that we've approved this, you're still gonna have to get to Fish and Wildlife no matter what.
Mhm.
There's nothing, we can't override them, we can't supersede their choices. So once you have picked when you want to start construction,
Mhm.
that is probably going to be the time that you're gonna wanna talk to Fish and Wildlife. Because they're saying, according to this letter, they will not be held to the comments here until a permit application is submitted. So until you submit your application, it's just gonna be opinion,
Okay.
right? They could say, okay, well, now that you've submitted the permit application, we have to come out and remap. And then you'd be like, look what we just found. There's, a herd of bison just moved into the property. You can't do anything here.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying?
Yes, of course.
So I mean, certainly I would reach out to them and say, we're in the process if you want to keep that line of communication open. But I don't think it's gonna speed anything up.
Okay.
All right, is that clear?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
great. Did you have any other questions?
I think that's it. I'll work on getting the dimensions, and like you said, if you need anything else, just let me know.
Yeah, it'll be given to you in writing,
Okay.
okay? And did you were leaning over, I wasn't sure if it's because you wanted to say
Just
something,
listening.
just paying attention, okay.
No, thank you.
Is there anyone else who wishes to say anything before we are finished for the evening?
I have one more question.
Go for it.
How many acres is this piece of property?
I think it's
61 or something.
Should be on.
57.
57.
67. Maybe 60 something.
Thank you.
That's cool.
I guess I do again.
Okay, go ahead.
When there are other continuations, is it treated the same way that abutting property owners are notified? Or is it then?
No, continuance is the people here in this room and Amy. So we will announce tonight when we are continuing to. We are not allowed to just open-ended continue. We have to continue to a date certain. So, we will provide that information, and then you being here will know when that is. And I don't know if you're living locally or if you're traveling to come to these meetings, but you are enabled to come by Zoom too if traveling is kind of an inconvenience. Okay? All right. Are you guys good?
So we're all set with the appeal that you were talking about before, as we asked the question.
You may appeal our decision should you disagree with it. Yeah,
Probably.
okay. All right. Okay, thank you very much for your time. Thank you for coming out this evening. I'm not a very speedy person, but I will try to get on this quickly so that we can get this moving, okay?
I did look for them to you.
Sarah?
Yeah, I know. Well, I can't run fast, that's for darn sure. Yes, Jeanette?
So I know you started to make a motion to continue the hearing, but I don't know that you finished
We
it.
know that Jerry moved and Steve seconded and we voted 4-0 to continue.
All right, but to September
We're
11th?
continuing
or-
September 11th.
11th. Okay, I don't think you.
No, we didn't, I did not include the dates. You're right, I apologize.
Nope, that's fine.
2 weeks is
In September 11th.
September 11th.
Right.
Not a
September
good time to
11th,
have
good.
meetings on. We're meeting again on September 11th, which is not a date I like to have meetings on, but I did.
7 o'clock.
7 o'clock. Yep. And so you won't see warnings in the paper or any about this because it's a continuance it's as though we just kept talking for this whole 2 weeks. Okay?
That's good.
Okay, thank you. Jeanette, do we have minutes to approve? Well, you guys are finished. She and I, we're just doing board business. Do we have minutes on?
Yes, from the last meeting, the 14th.
Oh,
The Deerfield, no, what was it?
for the 14th.
Shoot, hang on one sec.
August 14th.
August 14th.
Hold on a second, it's kind of loud downstairs.
Okay, hang on one sec.
Okay, now I can hear you.
Oh, it was the Farm Road Riverside.
Right, and that decision is written.
It
And I
is?
sent it to Dave
Oh.
Rue.
Okay, but those are the minutes that we need to approve.
Okay, so,
And
so that was Jerry.
everybody except
Steve.
Steve was not there.
Three of us.
Yeah, Jerry, Jack and Steve, Jerry,
Oh,
Jack and Sarah.
Yeah, I'll move to approve the minutes of August 14th.
I second.
Okay, all in favor?
Okay,
All right,
and Steve's gonna abstain.
so 301, because Steve is abstaining,
Yes,
because he's there.
he wasn't there.
Okay.
Okay, that's
Do
all
you have
I
any
got.
other- That's all you got?
That's all I got.
Since it's a continuance, we're not gonna have a deliberative session,
Right.
so
Okay.
the meeting is adjourned at 7:43.
Great, then you don't have to think about giving me notes.
I know, I was like, how, I wanted to say when it said the minutes will be posted on Tuesday. I wanted to add, if I get the notes to Lynette in time.
Right, okay.
Okay.